Why am I climbing a pyramid? Well, I'll tell you. I recently had the chance to go to Mexico to talk to children about wildlife. I had received an email about 2 years ago from a school, and they asked if they could use some of my animal videos in a computerized lesson plan. I let schools and TV shows around the world use my footage whenever they ask. The same school then recently asked if I would like to come and speak to the children. So off I went to Mexico City. I first wanted to get a feel for the area, as it was my first time there. So I did what you should do, and I climbed a big pyramid. This is the third largest pyramid in the world, and it was constructed around 100 AD. It has very steep steps, so you have to walk almost sideways to get up to the top. From the top, it was a beautiful sight. You could see the Pyramid of the Moon just across the way. On the Pyramid of the Sun, you are literally pretty close to the sun. I mean, you can really feel the burn. I also watched some performers spin around a tall pole high in the sky, and of course, I ate the local food, including the best flan I ever had in my life. So it was finally time to do the first of my 6 lectures at the first campus of the Thomas Jefferson Institutes. Now, taking care of animals, that's no problem. But being a public speaker, that's not my strong suit. But sometimes you gotta do what you gotta do. I started the lectures off explaining that when I was their age and in school, I was confused as to what I would do when I became an adult. As a child growing up in the Chicago area, all I saw were streets and skyscrapers and lots of people. But I soon learned that if I slowed down and appreciated what was around me, I can see that we indeed had wildlife around us, from the rabbit to the raccoon, from the hawk, and in certain seasons, we even had the snowy owl come to my area. In the early spring of the year 2000, after moving from Chicago to Florida, the chance to become a full-time animal caretaker soon became an option, and I started living and working at a big cat sanctuary in Florida. There, at Big Cat Rescue, I learned the animal trade, and some of my favorite times were simply hanging out with the cats. Like here, this cat hadn't ever had a pool before, so it was fun watching her splash around for the first time. It was hard work, but rewarding to be able to provide a permanent sanctuary home to these beautiful animals. It truly was 8 years of amazing experiences. I learned that each and every animal had its own personality. Also in Florida, I learned how to become a zookeeper at a local zoo. So I was living and working with animals around the clock with my 2 animal jobs. And just as it was important to take care of the animals at work, it was also important to educate others about them. The reason why I came here to Mexico. It was cool to be able to tell the children what beautiful animals they have in their own country, like the ocelot, the puma, and the jaguar. And speaking of Mexico, at several of my lectures, students came painted up as animals. It was fun to look out into the audience and see someone painted up, asking a question, or simply enjoying the lecture. I couldn't believe how beautiful these schools were. They were so far advanced from when I went to school. We just had one computer for the whole school, hidden in a closet in the classroom, where these schools had classrooms full of computers. My talk had a theme for the children to respect the planet, respect the animals that are on it, and of course, to respect each other, as we are all unique, just like in the animal kingdom. All animals are special, from the hyena, who plays an important role in cleaning up Africa when they eat all the leftovers from the other animals, the zebra, who are all unique with their stripes that no 2 zebras look alike, the elephant, who can hear in a way through its feet as they pick up low-frequency vibrations off the ground, so low that we humans can't even hear them, and also the rhino, who is unfortunately having a hard time right now because people are poaching it for its horn. We can respect them all and realize they all serve a purpose just like us. I even had the chance to let the kids in on some tips on how I film wildlife, and I used some of them as animal examples. I shared stories of my travels, like when I go to Africa and film all the wild animals there. And of course, I played for them some of my videos, which is what brought me there in the first place. It was a lot of fun, and after my last lecture, I even signed some autographs, just like a rock star. It was a great trip, and I look forward to returning to the schools again, as well as traveling to other places around this wonderful planet with the hopes of trying to get people to appreciate the world around us.